Finally, after almost 2 weeks since the election has occurred, the Democrats have been silent on virtually everything, while the Republicans, or I should say, while the MAGA party, because there's no more a Republican party, while the MAGA party of Trump has been all over the place, and as always, the national media constantly centers on one individual, one person, and one personality. Courtesy of the Midas touch, the headline reads, Democrats finally go on offense after election. Let's take a look at the video. Tyrone Bowman, live. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the conversation.
Finally, Democrats showing some leadership and going on the offense. You've been hearing me talk about this on the Midas Touch Network. I'm like, enough at the finger pointing, enough with the post-mortems. Push back on Donald Trump, his absolutely psychotic and insane and dangerous cabinet picks. Tell the American people what's going on, damn it. That's what we saw happening this weekend. Finally, Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries was on the weekend shows. Here's what he had to say. Let's play it.
Here's what I have to say about several of the nominations that have been made by the incoming president, including the one that Debbie Wasserman Schultz was referring to. The incoming president, throughout the campaign, promised the American people that we would have the best economy, the best border security, and the best administration possible. The question that has to be asked, is this the best that we can do in the context of some of these nominations? Is this the very best that America has to offer for a moment like this with so many challenges that we confront? Of course not. America deserves better. Hopefully, we'll see the Senate Republicans do their job, scrutinize these picks, certainly confirm those that meet the basic level of qualifications, and reject others.
Leader Jeffries, you're not willing to... Here he is again, Democratic Congressmember Hakeem Jeffries. Let's play it.
Attorney General, Speaker Johnson is now saying that the report should not be released. What's your reaction to what Speaker Johnson is saying?
Of course it should be released, and that's not just Democrats saying that. You have repeatedly seen Senate Republicans make clear, who are on the Senate Judiciary Committee or throughout that chamber, say that they want access to all available information so they can make a decision about whether the nominee for Attorney General is qualified to serve in that office. The Senate has a clear responsibility to serve as a separate and co-equal branch of government and a check and balance. That's as America as baseball, motherhood, and apple pie.
All right, let me ask you.
Next, we have Democratic Congressmember Jim Himes, and here he is talking about how right now the American people and even Republicans are not feeling good about a co-presidency where Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, has the most significant conflict of interest ever, and he right now is dictating American foreign policy and domestic policy. Play this clip.
Think that in this new Congress, there will be scrutiny of potential financial conflicts of interest around Mr. Trump.
Oh, are you okay? Move.
Of course there will be, right? I mean, this is sort of not...
And even Republicans are not feeling good about a co-presidency where Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, has the most significant conflict of interest ever, and he right now is dictating American foreign policy and domestic policy. Play this clip.
Think that in this new Congress, there will be scrutiny of potential financial conflicts of interest around Mr. Trump.
Well, of course there will be, right? I mean, this is sort of not subject to debate. We saw Trump's first term, and the fact that group of people weren't particularly concerned with financial conflicts of interest. And look, I don't know Elon Musk, odd character. You sort of have to respect what he's done to disrupt, space launch, to disrupt, the auto industry and whatnot. But early reviews are not good. I read his 12-point government waste manifesto. And he said, look at all this money we're paying on interest on the debt. That's part of the wasteful spending. Guess what? You got to pay interest on the debt. And so, I'm skeptical that he has any clue. Look,
Yeah, that's right, Congressmember Himes, because you've got Elon Musk talking about extinction level events, ELEs. He said he wants to impose extinction level events on we the people. He also says that he wants to inflict hardship, economic hardship on we the people. Why are we okay? Why are you okay with billionaires inflicting economic hardship on you and your family and we the people? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever even heard in my life. Snap out of it. Wake up. Jeez, here's Congressmember Himes again. Play the clip.
The ranking member on the Intelligence Committee. She never served on that kind of committee. Do you think experience is necessary? Is she fit for the job?
Margaret, how far we have come that on a major news show, the question we're examining is experience necessary for one of the most powerful positions in the land? Of course it's necessary. It's a little bit like our obsession right now with the Ethics Committee report on Matt Gaetz. How is it that this is what we're focusing on? Matt Gaetz is by any standard completely unqualified to be the Attorney General, and yet we're sort of focused on this, cherry on the cupcake of the ethics report.
Next up, you have Democratic Congressmember Adam Schiff on CNN State of the Union. Here he talks about Donald Trump appointing or nominating Matt Gaetz to be Attorney General. Play this clip.
You heard what Speaker Johnson said about Matt Gaetz. What do you think?
I think he's not only unqualified, he is really disqualified. Are we really going to have an Attorney General who there's credible allegations he was involved in child sex trafficking, potential illicit drug use, obstruction of investigation, who has no experience serving in the Justice Department, only being investigated by it? But Jake, I think the whole point with these nominees, several of them, is their unqualification, is their affirmative disqualification. That's Trump's point, because what he wants to do with these nominees is establish that the Congress of the United States will not stand up to him with anything. If they will confirm Matt Gaetz, they will do anything he wants. I mean, look how the Speaker had to tie himself in knots a couple days ago, saying the Speaker effectively should stay out of this. There are important reasons for that. And then getting involved in this, reversing himself.
The best bacon, the best steak, the best chicken, the best salmon you'll ever eat. It's not going to come from the grocery store. It's going to come from the family farm and independent Alaskan fishermen. And now you...
Yeah, we don't need this commercial.
Midas Touch. That's moinkbox.com/ from Michigan, Lissa Slotkin. Here she talks about Donald Trump nominating Tulsi Gabbard as Director of National Intelligence. Now, we here at the Midas Touch Network have had on numerous Congress members who have talked about how dangerous Tulsi Gabbard is. Play this clip right here.
Is she qualified for that job from what you know right now?
Again,
Your own experience at the CIA, she's going to be director of DNI.
Yeah, I think that I was literally one of the first employees when we stood up the Director of National Intelligence Office, and I have real concerns. Again, people have to be of a certain character and certain qualification. Because if you have the wrong people in these jobs, it's not just a parlor game.
What concerns you about her? And certainly there's been reporting about her past statements about Russia, about Ukraine.
I just need to know that the people who are in these jobs are not going to be guided by politics and what someone tells them they think they should be seeing in the intelligence or in the defense picture, but what is actually the truth on the ground. Speaking truth to power is one of the most important things the intelligence community does. And if you have someone in there who feels more beholden to telling the president what he wants to hear, I got a real problem with that.
Here's Senator-elect Slotkin again. Let's play the clip.
Seth has also said that any general that was involved in any of the DEI woke crap has got to go. Do you expect Donald Trump to fire top generals who he considers woke, or those close to former chairman Mark Milley?
I mean, I don't think you have to
arrest.
Yeah, I don't think you have to interpret anything. I think they've been very clear that they're putting together some sort of panel that's going to look at generals, people who've served their nation their entire lives over multiple administrations, Democrat and Republican, in combat. They are now openly talking about dismissing them like some sort of kangaroo court. You can imagine the stress in the Pentagon about that, but also on the future of who we are as a military, right? Our military and the role of the military is in the Constitution for a reason, and I think we're really at risk of politicizing the military in a way that we can't put the genie back in the bottle.
But there have been
Also, some important moves made over the weekend by President Biden. President Biden announced that he would be allowing Ukraine to use American-made missiles in order to attack Russian positions. This is as Russia escalated their unlawful invasion in Ukraine. President Biden was speaking in Brazil. Here is what he had to say. Let's play it.
Back home, I signed the most significant climate change law in history, a law that positions us to cut carbon emissions in half by 2030. This generated $450 billion in new clean energy investments, and that's created hundreds of thousands of good-paying jobs and a manufacturing boom as well. Folks, we don't have to choose between the environment and the economy. We can do both. We've proven it back home. It's no secret that I'm leaving office in January. I will leave my successor and my country in a strong foundation to build on if they choose to do so. It's true, some may seek to deny or delay the clean energy revolution that's underway in America. But nobody can reverse it. Nobody. Not when so many people, regardless of party or politics, are enjoying its benefits. Not when countries around the world are harnessing the clean energy revolution to pull ahead themselves. The question now is, which government will stand in the way and which will seize the enormous economic opportunity?
It's very powerful words right there by President Biden. I think it's important that we reflect on Donald Trump's broken promises every time they happen. Call them out right away. Donald Trump said that if he were to be elected before he even assumed office, he said within 24 hours of the election being over, if he were to win, he would stop the war in Ukraine. He said he would call up Putin, call up Zelensky. He would say something to Putin. He would say something to Zelensky, and voila, it would end, according to Donald Trump. That's what he said. Donald Trump leaked to the Washington Post that he had spoken with Putin and that he had told Putin, don't you escalate this thing. What did Putin do after? Putin denied ever having any such conversation with Donald Trump. Putin said through Kremlin spokespeople, pure fiction, no conversation at all ever took place. And what did Putin do? He's escalated that war in Ukraine right now more than really since the time of invasion. So he post that call, whether it happened or not, took it as an invitation to go further on the offense, which President Biden has now checked by allowing Ukraine to use missiles to hit targets in Russia where they previously weren't able to. You know, President Zelensky gave an interview as well where he said, look, I don't care. Donald Trump can't force me to give away my land, our people's land. We're a sovereign nation. We don't take orders to give up our land. We will fight. We will continue to fight, and we will win this war. is what President Zelensky said, to which Elon Musk, who's basically serving as a co-president or co-president-elect to Donald Trump, made a meme and said, "Oh, what a sense of humor Zelensky has," mocking Zelensky and frankly mocking the sovereignty of Ukraine. Now's the time for leadership. Now's not the time for whining. Now's the time to call out reckless, dangerous, despicable, disgusting behavior by this Trump transition. Call it out. Weak. Very weak also. Weak people. Weak. We hit some...
I'll be back shortly with some more updates, and I'll be talking about the entire list that President-elect Donald Trump wants to officially serve in his cabinet / administration, and those he eagerly wants to be confirmed by the Senate. Never surrender, never quit.